I'm tearing up thinking about it, just with the Kobe situation, you know? You just never know. And so I just wanted to be a good example, you know?
Never, in no world, would I hand him over to someone like that, who at a minimum, you know, is a rap star in a very controversial industry full of debauchery.
People take for granted encounters.
Jealous, it's a spread. Happiness.
Right.
Truly happy.
What up, man? How you doing?
That's where
Good?
What's up, dog?
Good.
It rains on the just and the unjust.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do everything right, and then your life is full of resentment then. Because you're like,
right.
wolf.
You're going to go bad at one point.
1,000%.
Why would Justin Bieber speak out now, right when the internet is already on edge? And why did his attempt to calm things down somehow make everything louder?
You know, seems like you would be more interested in that, like Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher were before Ashton and his Diddy partying became a set. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's government-based going on. You got Ashton Kutcher in love with Mila Kunis on that 70s show. Then they break up for absolutely no reason after he starts hanging out with Diddy. Then he marries Demi Moore, who drained him of all the adrenochrome she can, and apparently he replenished himself by doing inappropriate things with her daughters.
Jaguar also brought up Danny Masterson. She reminded everyone that Ashton publicly supported him in the past. Now that Masterson is behind bars and investigations have revealed more details, people are looking back at Ashton's support with much more suspicion.
And then there's the Danny Masterson connection too, who Vlad, if I am correct, and Ashton Kutcher both vouch for. These are weird people.
When Justin released a statement distancing himself from the growing storm around Diddy, he didn't accuse anyone, he didn't confirm anything, he simply denied involvement and said he wants a quieter life. That should have ended it. But instead, it triggered a wave of suspicion. Because here's the part people can't ignore: timing. Diddy has been facing federal investigations and multiple civil lawsuits in recent years, all alleged, all disputed, none fully proven in court. So when Justin suddenly clarifies his position, people start asking why now, and that's where it gets messy.
I wanted to protect the moment. You know, I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to get. You know, we never know how many opportunities we're going to get with anybody. I mean, I'm tearing up thinking about it, just with the Kobe situation, you know? You just never know. And so I just wanted to be a good example, you know? And, yeah.
Did you feel protective of her?
Yeah, I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, you know, telling me they love me and, you know, just turn their back on you in a second. So yeah, it's hard because I want her to know that, you know, she can count on me. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just kind of, you know, let her do her thing. And if she ever needs me, I'm going to be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters and yeah. So yeah, I just want to protect her, you know. I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, you know, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
Jaguar Wright then added fuel to the fire, claiming, according to her, that certain Hollywood circles were deeper than fans realize. She referenced Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, and long-standing industry friendships. None of it confirmed. None of it proven. But the internet doesn't wait for court documents. It reacts.
What do you think he went through?
Because he knows what's been happening to Billy. Just like everybody knew what was happening to Millie Bobby Brown girl with Drake. These people are monsters.
Before we...
You notice Billie Eilish's career has slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Why? She had that Bond movie song she was doing. So because I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious this is. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile in your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They're not seeing the victim. They're not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that.
Then she brought up Danny Masterson and past support letters Ashton wrote before Masterson's conviction, a confirmed fact, and suddenly old alliances were being re-examined. Guilt by association isn't evidence, but in the court of public opinion, it's powerful.
I have been holding back tears watching all of the Justin Bieber clips that have been floating around. I've watched every single one of them. Yeah. Every single one, and boy, they all look disgusting. Yeah.
And then came the clip that changed everything. Justin getting emotional while talking about protecting Billie Eilish, saying he didn't want her to experience what he went through. At the time, it felt heartfelt. Now, people are replaying it like it's a coded message.
I think Ashton Kutcher is problematic because if you recall, he and his wife defended Danny Masterson, who is a serial rapist and was convicted of rape. I think he's away for life. They wrote letters to the judge. That's right. Saying they would let Danny watch their daughter alone. I mean, vile. I don't trust that guy at all. With Usher and Bieber, hypothetically, we don't know anything, but were they victimized by Diddy at young ages? You know, you just never know what was done to them. What was done to him? His parents threw him to the wolves, literally.
What mother would give her 15-year-old over to Sean Combs for a weekend? Who would do that? No matter how badly your son and you want him to become a star.
Did we learn nothing from Michael Jackson?
Yeah, right.
You know, when that documentary, that HBO documentary came out, which I could only watch the first part of it because it was so dark and so upsetting, because it was just all of these mothers feeding their young sons, knowing what was going on most likely, and they didn't care. And the damage is lifelong. And this is a betrayal on so many levels. But watching that, I was having the same thought. Like, what mother is giving their 15-year-old boy over to a grown man for 48 hours to go buck wild? Like,
I have a son who is turning 15 in a week. 15 is young. They're young. These are not men yet. They are still boys figuring it all out. Even if you have a mature, really smart, awesome one like I do, never in no world would I hand him over to someone like that, who at a minimum, you know, is a rap star in a very controversial industry full of debauchery.
Some online commentators even alleged that Justin's early access to powerful figures was unusual, suggesting guardianship questions and mentorship dynamics. Allegations only. No court proof. But once that narrative started circulating, social media ran with it.
I have another crazy inside Hollywood scoop for you guys today, this time pertaining to Justin Bieber. This is crazy. Daily Mail, last 48 hours. Here are some headlines. Inside Kendall and Kylie Jenner's desperate attempts to help Hailey and Justin Bieber amid split speculation. Justin Bieber reacts to wife Haley hitting an event without him amid rumors of a marriage breakdown. I'm told that Justin Bieber, just like Michael Jackson, is engaged in a war against musical executives, except the musical executives have gotten smarter over time. He wants out of Hollywood. He does not care about the money. He wants out. It is the same war which was fought by Michael Jackson. It is the same war which was fought by Ye. Okay. The talent is you, Justin Bieber. And if you are wanting to, as you have demonstrated, lean into this next phase of your life where it is about family and it is about Christ, then know that there is absolutely nothing that can stop you. Just speak. Literally, I am begging you. Forget the contracts, violate them all. We're coming to the courtroom with you. Just speak. You have the strength to do that. Justin Bieber. So what is your take there?
He's not going after the whole industry. It really feels like this one is kind of Scooter specifically taking personal offense to what's going on here. And Scooter kind of got trapped in the middle of this deal with Hybe.
Let's discuss a bit about the deal with Hybe.
So Scooter was hemorrhaging his clients. Scooter's very well known in the industry for not being, shall we say, the nicest guy to work with or for. Over and over, artists throughout his career have left him and said that he's great until he doesn't need you anymore, and then you're discarded. And Justin was like his last big name. And he sold his whole business, Ithaca Holdings, to Hybe, which is the K-pop company, which is very like the Korean mafia of music. And he sold what he had for $1 billion to Hybe. And this company, Ithaca Holdings, was like making less than 200 million a year in revenue, I believe. So it's like they're selling it at this crazy high valuation. And presumably that's because it includes the future perpetual rights to Justin Bieber and his brand, right?
Okay, I didn't even look at this.
And so, yeah, Justin then goes on this crazy, more than a year-long world tour where he happens to get COVID at the start of it. And then he happens to get an injury that looks an awful lot like a vaccine injury.
His wife also had she had a brain clot.
Exactly. And he winds up with half his face paralyzed, can't continue. Apparently, the tour was booked out on advances, which is not uncommon for the industry as far as I'm aware. But it was such a big tour. We're talking hundreds of millions, at least tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars advanced. And so when he's partway through this tour and then can't continue, suddenly there's a whole bunch of debt that's been incurred that's not getting paid back. And obviously then Justin goes to his management and is like, so we have insurance, right? This is no problem. We have insurance for this kind of a thing. And allegedly what then was told to him is that, no, you broke your contract. So there is no insurance payout here. You actually have to cover this debt. Like all of these things reflect on the management. Right. And how poor their management style is. So that all happens in the middle, and Justin is trying to get out, and Scooter's on the hook for $1 billion worth of value. Like he's promised $1 billion worth of Justin Bieber's future to this Korean company, which he's now on the board of. It feels to me like everyone is sort of trapped in bad ideas that are sort of leveraged to the hilt in terms of how much money is involved and how many promises are involved. And it all revolves around Justin continuing to produce music, which like anyone who's had a kid or a creative in their life knows that no creative dude like Justin is going to be producing hit singles if he hates you and you're trying to control his whole life. And so it feels like we're seeing not only these smear campaigns to try to get him back in line coming from Scooter, but it also feels like we're seeing Justin kind of acting out because he has no power. He's in secret litigation. They won't let him open a new clothing company. They won't let him like profess his, faith in God, or they're slandering that. So it's messy in every direction.
Yeah. It's really interesting because it also makes you just revisit everybody in the past that has kind of gone through a similar thing, a similar cycle.
And here's what intensified it. Reaction videos. People watching old footage of teenage Justin with Diddy and saying he looks nervous. Others say he looks normal. Body language analysis isn't evidence, but perception spreads faster than facts.
Long suspected, since it happened, that Diddy had something to do with the death of his ex-partner and the mother to his children, a woman named Kim Porter. Now, what happened was she mysteriously died of pneumonia at the age of 47. It was just announced yesterday that Kim Porter's book is being published. It's a 60-page book entitled Kim's Lost Words. Porter allegedly recounts discovering and making copies of the sex tapes that Diddy made of himself having sex with young boys that he was managing, including an alleged tape involving an 18-year-old pop star. And what has come on the heels of this is people unearthing videos of Justin Bieber.
Oh, now act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Justin Bieber was in my view, a child victim. I want to make sure people remember that and give him the grace as someone who has somehow survived this.
Meanwhile, discussions turned to parental responsibility, industry protection, and whether young artists are shielded or exposed. Again, speculation. But it opened a bigger conversation.
It's more deeper questions that I be wanting to know, like, why were you so infatuated with a child that wasn't yours? Were you grooming that little boy? I don't even want to start those conversations because that's not your child. You know what I'm saying? And for you to keep him that close, it's like you kept him that close because he might got your secrets because he's not your child. So if he's not your child and you that type of person with that type of character, you don't mind actually doing it to him when he finally reaches a certain age because he's not yours. And you know in your mind he's not yours. And now you keep him real close to you. You make sure he don't go to his daddy. Why? You make sure he's separated with him and you provide him with everything he wants. Why? You got one of them little Michael Jackson secrets. He got one of them secrets that he can't tell nobody because his legacy, I mean, his manhood gonna be, and not only that, his brother no gonna look at him crazy. Only Puffy know, only God and Puffy.
About Quincy, right?
I don't know. All I'm gonna say is, I don't know.
I'll be sure, son.
All I'm gonna say is, who's infatuated with another man's son now, like that? Like that seemed like grooming to me. I got, that's his daughter's brothers. Get the fuck out of here, huh? Plenty of daughters got brothers. Go show one man that do it. That ain't in the household with him. Like I'm saying, like I'm not married to your mother. If I'm married to your mother, then yeah, your daddy. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't there. I'm here. But I'm not married to your mother. You actually my stepson. I keep you with me. I treat you like what for?
Then Freddie brought up Justin Bieber directly.
Freddie said he had seen videos of Justin around Diddy, and Justin always looked nervous, like he did not want to be there.
I want to know what Justin Bieber, I want to know. Justin Bieber, look at his life change. His man life, that man is terrified of Puffy. I seen the video. I'm in the streets, dog. People know, you know fear, dog. You're like, what happened to your number? You're like, oh, man, I lost it. No fear, man. You got to think of all the people, the white folks who've been at the parties. They scared. They don't roll in crowds with niggas and guns. You know, when they get slapped in the mouth at a party for being too high, they shut up. You get what I'm saying? You got to think of all these people who've been terrified for years. Everybody. But see, people understand. I can say this because I've been saying it while he was out. I'm one of the few people been calling this out for years. They ain't scared of who. I've been telling this nigga, where you at? I'm not scared of you. Not saying I'm bad or nothing, but I'm saying like, I got the right to speak. I'm not trying to kick him while he down or some shit. I've been looking in this motherfucking camera for the longest telling you I don't like you. I don't like nobody around you and I don't like what you did to me. I woke up one day, I was 40 years old, didn't have a home, didn't have nothing. I'm like, what the happened to 20 years? 20 years where I couldn't do nothing because he brought me into a lifestyle. You get what I'm saying? That right now, anything you do, you're going on the news, you're going anything. You can't just be a man. You can't say you want to hustle. Can't stand on the corner. Everybody that ride by know you can't go to work. Everybody taking pictures. You can't even have a fucking day at a job. Everybody want to take pictures. Everybody want to talk about it. Your whole life, nobody want to be subjected to that. No one man want to have to endure all that.
Then Candace Owens stepped in, framing the situation as an industry power struggle. She questioned headlines, contracts, and who benefits when narratives shift. It wasn't an accusation, it was positioning. And positioning changes everything.
We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out and watch football together. And he came over, and I was like, I'm going for a run. He's like, oh, I'll go for a run with you. And so he comes over to go for a run. About halfway through the run, he's like, yo, I'm running out of gas right now. But we had like paparazzi all around us at the time. He's like, you got to slow down but make it look like you're not slowing down. Because I don't want to look like I'm not going to be able to finish this thing. And he was losing it, right? Like he was like me right now with the wings and the heat's starting to kick up. And he's like, and so we finished out the run. And then he he was so upset over the fact that he got skunked on this run. That year, he decided to run the New York Marathon. And so he just started immediately training for the New York Marathon.
I like that. Bounce back.
Well, he just can't lose. Even when he's that close to humility, that like it becomes a driver. And so then he went out and ran.
Because if you follow the money, things get complicated. Scooter Braun sold Ithaca Holdings to HYBE in a $1 billion deal tied heavily to Justin's catalog value. That's confirmed business. Then Justin cancelled his Justice World Tour after being diagnosed with Ramsay Hunt syndrome, also confirmed. But here's where theories grow. Cancelled tours mean insurance claims, contracts, pressure. None of that proves wrongdoing. But people start connecting financial stress to public silence. Candace also referenced resurfaced videos and older allegations surrounding Kim Porter's death, which remain disputed and not legally tied to confirmed criminal findings. But when old footage and new investigations collide, the internet assumes patterns. Then Freddie P. entered the conversation, alleging grooming culture and fear within certain entertainment spaces. Allegations only. No convictions attached to those specific claims. But emotionally, they hit hard.
That's crazy, man. I just heard about that. But you heard about the reports that Ashton Kutcher, he's worried that Diddy might lie on his friends? You heard about that?
But that's what I've been saying. I said, if the federal government wanted somebody more than they want Diddy, if he has some information about some people that they would rather have other than him, he's able to get that information to them. But they gotta want it. They gotta want it. And Ashton Kutcher and him they were real tight. One time, me, him, Ashton Kutcher went to a Nets game, and we met Jay-Z there. You know what I'm saying? So they were close. They was cool.
But you think Diddy would do something like that? Lie on other celebrities?
Well, why would it have to be a lie? Because if he get caught in, he gonna be as truthful as possible. You understand? He's gonna give them enough information, whereas that it's gonna make him look like the choir boy. So, Ashton Kutcher, he has a right to be kind of alarmed if he was doing things with Diddy.
Even old Ashton interviews resurfaced. Stories about running with Diddy. Jokes about parties he can't tell. Mentor's humor at the time. Now interpreted differently. Context changes tone. Gene Deal, a former associate, suggested in interviews that if legal pressure increases, cooperation could become strategic. Again, opinion. Not confirmation of any current action. But when federal investigations are publicly acknowledged, cooperation rumors start trending.
Remember they used to have that group called the what do they call it? The Brat Pack? With Diddy, him, and a couple other guys was hanging out. Leonardo. One other guy too. I forgot the other guy's name. So they all might be worried.
For him to come out with that comment, I mean, that is suspect. It sounds like he's worried that Diddy might give up some information.
That's why. That's why he made that statement. To set it up. To set up the atmosphere that, yo, this guy's gonna lie on us. This guy ain't gonna tell the truth on us. But what we know is that wherever Diddy went, his tape recorders went. His camera equipment was working. He was videotaping everything. So they might have that videotape already.
Right. And out of curiosity, have you had any kind of contact with the feds?
I have not spoken to a prosecutor. I haven't spoken to anybody connected to what is happening right now with Brother Love, Diddy, Sean Combs, and none of that. There's no reason for them to speak on me because when I spoke about stuff about Sean Combs, it was stuff that happened personally to people around us. And there's nothing that I said that could be deemed criminally that could have got Sean Combs into jail. See, that's what people want you to think, that I've said so much that it's the reason why he's in jail and the prosecutor got him. But they can't tell you what law that I said that he broke? Or what did he did illegally to get him in jail? They can't even tell you that. If you ask somebody to say, well, what did Gene Deal say that Puff did that led him to get in jail?
And that's the shadow hanging over all of this. Timeline. Federal probes reported. Civil suits filed. Public statements made. None of these automatically equal guilt. But they create an atmosphere where every silence feels intentional. So now the internet asks, is Justin distancing himself for peace or protection? Is he simply exhausted after years in the spotlight? Or is he, as some commentators allege, trying to step away from something bigger? There is no verified evidence placing him in criminal activity. There is no court ruling naming him in wrongdoing. But speculation doesn't need proof, it feeds on uncertainty. Hollywood has a history of young stars burning out. That part isn't conspiracy. That's documented reality. And when someone says they want out, people assume there's a reason. But here's the real contradiction. Justin's statement was clear. He denied involvement. He asked for space. And yet the more he clarifies, the more the internet questions. So what are we really watching unfold? A man protecting his mental health? A celebrity navigating alleged scandals around others? Or a deeper industry shift happening in real time? Because if this is just coincidence, it's a loud one. And if it's not, then why does every piece seem to surface at the exact same moment? What do you think? Is Justin Bieber simply stepping away from chaos, or is there a layer to this story that hasn't been revealed yet?